What is good, you guys? Welcome to today's trade recap. Today is Friday, September 26, 2025. I took one trade today. It was another fucking break even. I was in the trade for a hell of fucking long, and yeah, we ended up just getting a fucking break even on. So irritating. However, starting off with the bias coming in this morning, I had a neutral bias coming in this morning. We're currently respecting a daily bullish for value gap, while also respecting a 4-hour bearish gap. Okay, and then I said I need to see some sort of manipulation one way and more confluence to confirm entry before I enter. So what I mean by that is I was essentially just looking for a continuation model, right? Unless if it was super obvious that price was going to reverse, I'm most likely just going to look for a continuation model to start off the day. So we had news at 8:30. So what did we end up doing right at market open? Well, we ended up manipulating lower, sweeping out data lows, tapping into this 15-minute bearish or bullish for value gap right here. And then on top of that, we also had SMTs from the prior sessions. So we, as you guys can see, we came down, swept out these 1-hour lows. We did not on ES, right? We did not come down and sweep out these 1-hour lows. And then these 8 a.m. lows did not get swept out. And these 8 a.m. lows, which are right here, did end up getting swept out, right? Okay. So from here, I was like, all right, I'm leaning bullish. And what is our targets? Well, we have this, these highs right here. What else do we have? We had this unfilled 5-minute gap right there. Okay. So we had targets above. It was a matter of it's just if we can find an entry or not, right? So we had this 1-minute form right here. And then we just get this fucking Drake to the upside. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to be patient. We end up taking this out. Let's see what we can do. At this point in time, I'm still bullish, but just not 100%, right? Because we're still respecting this 4-hour bearish for value gap right here, okay? So I was really trying to wait till 10 a.m. and to see what the fuck we wanted to do. So we ended up just trending higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Oh, we actually chopped for a very long time. And then 10 a.m. opened. We get a 10 a.m. open right here. We tap it back into this 5-minute for value gap, right? We ended up sweeping out these 5-minute intermediate highs. And we're still respecting this 4-hour. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'll take this short if it presents itself. We have sell side resting right here. We have this sell side down here. However, the reason I didn't take the short is because ES left relatively equal highs with previous day high. So even though we had this 1-hour SMT with these highs right here, NASDAQ did not sweep. So Thursday at 4 in the morning, Thursday at 4 in the morning, we swept out. And the reason I think ES didn't need to go to these previous day high is because we had this 1-hour bearish for value gap right here. But I still wanted to see a sweep of it. We left relatively equal highs with that. We ended up getting a 1-minute inversion. Where is it? Right here. So we had 2 1-minute gaps. There was nothing else but these 2 1-minute gaps. So from right here to right here. Let me just get this 4-hour for value gap out the way. Okay. So I was looking for an inversion of these. We got 1 inversion and we got 2. So this would have been a A+ setup. Well, it was. I actually set a limit order right here. I was waiting to get tapped in just for better RR reasons. I believe this was, yeah, this was a 48-point stop loss, and that's just way too much for me to risk. So I ended up setting a limit order right there. Like I said, we had a double SMT. We didn't take out these intermediate highs as well at 8:30, but we did on NASDAQ, as you guys can see. So double SMT, 1 minute for value gap, 5-minute, or 1 minute inversion, 5-minute for value gap tap. Right, so it's a beautiful model. Just RR on this was terrible for me. So what do we end up doing? Well, we didn't get no retrace, right? We just ended up continuing farther and farther down. And what did we end up creating? Well, we ended up creating a 15-minute and a 5-minute for value gap. So I'm like, okay, cool. We are clearly in bearish order flow now, right? Because we're just disrespecting this these SMTs that were made down here. We're just flushing right through them, right? That's how you can tell if an SMT is getting disrespected or not, is if do we see a reaction off it or not? Because like if there's a bullish SMT and we just keep going lower and lower and lower, those SMTs no longer matter anymore, okay? So we just kept going lower. I was like, all right, if we can get a retrace into this 5 or 15-minute gap and then an inversion out of it, that would be perfect. We had this LR right here as well. I was looking for a gap model, but it was going to be a 3-minute inversion. And we also ended up chopping. So what I wanted to see is I wanted to see a resweep of these lows, possible SMT, and then we can target this. We just did not end up getting that. We end up coming into the 5-minute. and into the 15-minute. And then from here, what do we get? Well, we got a 5-minute inversion right here. So we came up, tapped equilibrium, hit a 5 and 15-minute bearish for value gap, then inverted a 5-minute bullish for value gap. I went ahead and set my limit order to CE of the inversion for a better RR, because even my stop on this was still 51 points. So super, super volatile. And as you guys can see, I ended up getting tapped in right here. My break even was these 5-minute intermediate lows that just got created, and my take profit was this sell side liquidity that was resting right here. Okay, I took one trade on here and one trade on ES. This Nasdaq's trade was only on my Tradeify accounts, and then ES's trade was on my top. So I'll go over the ES in a second. As you guys can see, we ended up just essentially just chopping around as soon as I entered, hit my break even point, and then immediately reversed and ended up, I don't know what we're doing. Oh, ended up going to my stop loss anyway. So W break even on the day. Here is the ES trade. I like the ES trade a lot better. Let me just bring my top step up real quick. Hold on. So as you guys see, it got break even on my top step as well. It was moving roughly the same as Nasdaq. But what were my draws on ES? Look at this. Right, these no longer matter. We had equal lows right here. Okay. And not only, oh my God, not only do we have equal lows, we created another relatively equal low right here back when we came and tapped into this 15-minute for value gap. So same thing as Nasdaq. I had these same exact conditions, right? We came up, tapped this 15-minute for value gap. At this point in time, price was moving pretty good. As you can see, we came up, came down, tapped equilibrium, 15-minute gap, so on and so forth. Inverted this 5-minute gap. And then same thing. I set my limit order at CE of this wick, or CE of the inversion. Okay. From there, what did I end up doing? Well, let's go over here. My break-even point was this low right here, and my take profit was, again, the same spot I had in Nasdaq, was just this sell-side liquidity. Moved the exact same way the entire time. All right, we chopped around, came all the way down, took out my break-even point, and then immediately reversed after. And it ended up being a W break even because I would have got stopped out. Okay, this was exactly a 1-to-1, and I believe Nasdaq was just over a 1-to-1. Yeah, this was a 1.29. So break even on the day. I'm down on the week. I'm down like 20 grand on the week. It is what it is though. Can't really do much. Price action, we made 2 big moves. So I mean, Nasdaq moved like shit, but ES was moving pretty good today. We went up, down, came back up, tapped equilibrium, and then just decided to shit the bed. But this, again, is an entry I'll take 10 out of 10 times. Why? It's just a straight continuation model. Disrespecting bearish or bullish and respecting bearish. Okay, so that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you. All right.